program. A new era can be said to be beckoning for men and women tennis. Arguably, the greatest women and men's tennis players of all time, Serena Williams and Roger Federer, have called it quits with the game. While 23-time Grand Slam singles winner Williams retired after her third-round loss at the U.S. Open on 2nd of September, Federer said the upcoming Level Cup tournament, which begins on the 23rd of September in London, will be his final match in a career that has seen him win 20 Grand Slam singles titles, 2 Olympic medals, and multiple #1 rankings. Beautiful moments there, and a very beautiful way to take a bow.
Yes, two of the greatest tennis stars that ever played the game. Serena was particularly heartwarming because she won 23 Grand Slams. Margaret Court won 24, but not in the modern era. So she was able to do 23 in modern era. Unfortunately, she was not able to make that 24. There was a time, and she had tried so well, but that cannot take anything that she's the greatest tennis player of all time. And when you look at the background, because tennis is basically a white man's game, you understand? And the father, who is not even a coach, just felt, I want to train my kids to be able to play this game. And on his own, he was training them, putting young girls, putting them through a lot of vigor. They used to spend sometimes 10, 12 hours per day training, practicing and all that. And when you watch their clip when they were young, they were still playing like that because of both Venus, and Venus is actually more talented than Serena, but she has always been having problems. She has one immune deficiency that makes her to get tired easily and all that. So she could not win as many Grand Slams as Serena. But Serena is a winner and all that. And she has conquered everything. She has nothing to prove again. She apart from 23 Grand Slams, she has done so well. She has created business with the Serena Ventures and doing that. For Federer is my man. Federer to me is the best, is the most talented tennis player. If you look at how gracious he is, his movement on court, the silky play that he puts to tennis, unlike others who use both force. But he won 20 Grand Slams. He was #1 for a long time. But arguably, you cannot say he's the greatest tennis player of all time. I think that will probably go to Nadal for 2 reasons. One, Nadal has won 22 Grand Slam titles. But apart from that, Nadal, unlike Federer, Federer won all the 4 majors, but he won the French Open only once. But Nadal has won each title more than once. He has won all the 4 majors more than once. And so when you look at that, arguably you will say Nadal has a slight edge over Federer. But Federer is everybody's man on and off the court. He was a gentleman. He was somebody that inspired a lot of people. Even Serena, the great Serena, said Federer inspired her. Off the court, he's a gentleman. On the court, he's somebody well respected by even his opponents. And then his play is different from others. It's silky. It's like a Jabota way of playing tennis. And he brought in a lot of things to tennis that people cannot forget it. So a lot of people consider him to be the greatest of all time. But like I said, he won only the French Open only once. But he won Wimbledon 8 times. But Nadal won French Open 12 times and won Wimbledon about 4 times. Won US Open twice. So when you look at the number of things that they've won, and Nadal is the ultimate warrior. When you play Nadal, you are in for a long haul. He has this unbelievable willpower, and he doesn't want to lose. So,
all right, Bikio.
Yes, I'm really grateful that in my time I could see these 2 great tennis players in action. I used to love Pete Sampras, Andre Agassi, and Jimmy Connors. in those days. But Federer came with a complete game. There has never been any player with what you can call the complete game like Federer. Federer can choose to go smash and grab, serve and volley like Pete Sampras. If you want long rallies, he can do long rallies like Nadal, for example. He is also good on all surfaces. Without Nadal, Federer will have won more French Open titles.
Yeah.
In fact, Nadal's head-to-head with Federer is impressive. He won more matches against Federer because people will say that Nadal's game was the antidote to Federer's.
Yeah.
You know, because Federer does not like you attacking his backhand, and
Yes.
Nadal was always doing that. But
Because he's left-handed.
given the successes that he recorded, I have no doubt, though Nadal has always been my favorite, my boss, Baron Nonoga, has always been a Federer man. But given his accomplishments, it's difficult for me to disagree that he's the greatest. In terms of achievements, he's the oldest to win a Grand Slam. I doubt if, at the rate we are going with people like Alcaraz and the rest of them coming, I doubt if any of the stars who are still there now will be able to win Grand Slam at the age that Federer was able to do it. And also the number of matches that he won. Apart from Jimmy Connors, nobody won more matches than him in tennis. And he was also a perfect gentleman. Perfect gentleman. You will never hear any scandal about him. You know, he was it took, my boss, Baron Onoga, used to say that you will never see Federer running. Yet, tennis is a sport that needs a lot of speed. Yet, he never seemed to run on the court. He was so graceful. He took tennis so easy. He made tennis look so easy. You know? Yet, it's not easy to play this game. But he made it so easy and pleasing on the eye. So, you are bound to like him as a person. For Serena, one thing I admired about her is that fighting spirit. Serena does not want to lose a game. Whether it is against her own sister, Venus, who, like Mayor said, is the more talented player, but she had problems with injuries. You know, you see, she played most games with a strapped tie. At a point earlier in their careers, Venus was beating her all the time. Then suddenly, it stopped. Although she was the first to win a Grand Slam in the family, you know, the US Open. But at a point, Venus was beating her. Suddenly, all that stopped. And she would never want to lose a game. That's why, in my view, yes, Margaret Court, that was not in the Open era. But in the Open era, we have more games. More games of tennis. So to stay at the top, you have to be very good. And Serena has been number one far longer than anyone. Steffi Graf, in my view, will have been her greatest rival. But Steffi Graf won 22 Grand Slams, and she won 23. That's talking about the Open era. She won 23. So, in my view, Serena Williams, no matter what people feel about her, some people don't like her conduct, especially what happened on the day she lost the opportunity to win her 24th Grand Slam, when Naomi Osaka beat her. Many people didn't like her conduct that day, the way she was attacking the umpire. But that's consistent with someone who does not want to take defeat. And the fact that she's a fighter brought her to where she is today. So the tennis world will miss these two players. But with time, I know that we'll still be able to, but consistency is what the present generation of players don't have. You see this one, Dominic Thiem, do so well, but to go around and win all 4 Grand Slams, it's not easy.
Alcaraz is the one that's going to do that.
Well, let's hope that Alcaraz will do that. I will need someone to...
Alcaraz is the new deal.
I will need someone to come out just like Nadal came out from nowhere.
Yeah, Alcaraz
and
is like Nadal. He
dominated.
plays like Nadal. It's the new deal.
All right, gentlemen.
Hopefully Alcaraz will make us begin to forget these individuals.
All right.